Today, I have the honor to have Joshua Bane from Bane Tech with me in the house. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good morning. It's a nice, wet Saturday here in Alabama, but it's a good day for tech for sure.
Yes, definitely, and it's a, very hot, dry day here in Southern California. Actually, no, we have a chance of precipitation, but more than likely, it's going to be dry heat.
Yeah.
Uh, but I appreciate you joining me here this morning on a nice conversation, just hanging out on Saturday morning. I know I personally would prefer to be watching cartoons, but that's beside the point. We'll do that on another day.
We got
Um,
college football coming up for me later on in the day, so yeah.
oh yeah, no, definitely. College season's starting up now. Definitely a lot of good hours going to be spent, watching some good games.
Yep.
So, what first thing I wanted to say is I appreciate you coming in on the show, and definitely a fan. And I've been watching your shows. And I know initially we first met, was it last year at the Big Android barbecue? I
Yeah, that's
think.
where we kind of put a face to a name kind of thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think I met you last time you were with Marshall. We were walking around the actual event, we're out on the floor, and I was actually watching your shows the day before we saw each other in person. I was watching your shows at the hotel because you guys were
That's
doing daily recaps, and you recapped
right.
the first day. So that was a really cool thing to kind of catch up and get to see you guys, and again, put a face to a name, which is really good.
Yeah,
You guys did
that's
a lot of
fun.
good stuff.
I can't wait to go back to the barbecue. I know Marshall is going to be there, and then a rider of mine, George, Mobile
Mhm.
Geezer, he's going to be going with us too. So, and also Rude Junkie, he's going to be kind of joining the
I
crew.
was
So,
about to say that. I was about to say Root Junkie also is like really stoked. He's going to be there. He's going to be
yeah,
hanging out. That's going to be really nice. I know Adam Outlaw is also coming out. He's not with XDA anymore as far as producing, but he's definitely a big active member of the forums, and he's coming out. And I'm going to try to be there myself. I'm working on the arrangements.
yeah,
XDA will be there, from what I understand. I just don't know the specifics as far as last year they had an agreement with NVIDIA. This year they're working with another company. But
okay,
it's definitely a
yeah.
great event.
XDA did a lot of the like the video coverage and stuff of all the like the keynotes and stuff, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
actually, that's what I was doing last year. That was the reason why they flew me in. They wanted me to do the coverage for that, all the events. And I think Marshall has a copy of almost everything that I did, which is really cool because he's like, I watch all the videos. I'm like, great. There were a few videos that didn't make it to go public. We didn't get
okay,
approval. And when we couldn't do that, so that at least you get to see some of the footage. There's a lot of good stuff.
yeah,
A lot of good speeches, a lot of good comedy actually that came out of that final keynote when they were, the
yeah.
last thing. And
That was it was like a. I've never been to Google I/O, but it felt like a miniature Google I/O. That's the feeling that I got from it.
yeah, so I've been to one Google I/O that I was able to finally get in a ticket to, and it's similar, but I think it's more fun. I think it's
Yeah,
more personable because it focuses on the type of technology that you and I would use. It's not necessarily what we would like you to use, because Google is
hmm,
about new things, and you get to see new technology, new things unveiled, and you get to play with them. But when you go to the barbecue, you're meeting the fans, you're meeting the actual creators, the tech
yeah,
creators.
exactly.
It's around the ecosystem of what Android is after Google releases it, right?
Right.
Because they provide us the base. What we experience on a daily basis and what we use is that flavor that gets added to it, which is
Yeah,
what HTC would
exactly.
do or OnePlus would do or anything like that. Those are the things we do. So I think it has just a nice extra fun factor that a lot of people don't realize. That the Big Android Barbecue is really fun, and I really hope everybody that's watching or gets a chance to pick up a ticket and go. It's fun. The food's great.
Hmm.
Personally, I'm a big In-N-Out fan from the West Coast. So if anybody from the West Coast will recognize that there's an In-N-Out down the street from there. That is amazing.
I've never actually been there, so I'm gonna have to hit that up. We'll have to do a lunchtime or something like that. Hit that
Yeah,
up.
no. It's walking distance from the
Oh
event
heck yeah,
place, and it's really really cool. But again, excited to be there to go there, and definitely will hope we can meet up. We'll do a couple videos over there. This time, it looks like I'm going as just for my own channel, which is really cool. Gives me more flexibility and not
yeah,
as much responsibility to have to be behind the camera for somebody else.
yeah.
Um,
That was fun.
so without going too far into it, but I just kind of I'm interested to see, what's your daily driver now? Are you still running on the G4, or I think last time I checked, you had the OnePlus 2?
Well, I haven't really made it too public yet because it's just been a crazy week for one. But I'm actually on the Note 5 now. Um,
Hey,
so I'm really the Note 5 is one of those things like, yeah, I could get it launch day, but I want to try other stuff out because I know for a fact I'll like the Note device. I've had a Note device since the 3, and even messed around with the 2 for a little while. But so I got the Note 5. I found a really good deal on Swappa. So just like I just got to jump on this deal because it's not going to last. Like funny thing is like I woke up in the middle of the night, like at 3 o'clock in the morning. For some dumb reason, I was checking Swappa listings just to try to make myself tired or something. But I saw it for like a really good price, mint condition, comes with the case, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm getting this. And I actually ended up selling the OnePlus 2 because so like I wanted to cover that more, but I don't know, it wasn't necessarily doing it for me, and it wasn't getting the coverage that or like the viewership that I was wanting out of it, just for channel purposes and stuff like that. But at the same time, like you can go over to Swap and sell that thing and make a profit because of the demand right now. And so I wheel and deal like all year long. That's how I get my devices and stuff, and find ways to where I can make some money to where I can get other devices and things like that, because I don't keep every device that I get.
Very, very few of us do, unless we were sent those devices as review units.
Yeah, and
you're right. We got to figure out how to circle those things around. Otherwise,
so I was able to pretty much break even. The money that I made off of the OnePlus 2, I was able to buy straight out for the Note 5. Which is cool. Like I'm a Verizon user too, so I have to consider that. I was just going to get the OnePlus 2 just kind of as one of the first like extra phones that I could actually keep around, but it was just better to get the Note 5 because I could use it. I knew I was going to like it and stuff like that. Like I said, that the deal I got was just a no-brainer. Like anybody would jump on it, kind of thing. So
did you get it on Verizon, or are you still doing the GSM model?
It's Verizon. So
Verizon.
It's the Verizon model.
It'll work better definitely if it's the network you're able to use. I try to stick to T-Mobile here in the where I am, mostly because I have acceptable coverage for it, and it keeps me working on there. And hey, what is that? Am I seeing two Joshes? Is that no?
Yes.
Josh. Nah. Good morning, Mr. Josh. We
I woke up and I was like, my phone was going off, and I was like, crap. I gotta get my daughter dressed. I gotta take my dog out.
You just want to make an entrance, that's all.
But I see.
Wake up. What's going on, Josh?
What's up, man?
Been wanting to talk to you for a minute now.
Yeah, it's been craziness.
Yeah, we've gone our separate ways for a while now.
We're coming back.
Much.
Nah, we're just talking about daily drivers and stuff.
This other guy here, we talked recently, but you.
I'm the guy that makes people wake up early on Saturday mornings. That's my job.
Yes, that is surely your job. Look, no school Saturdays. I get to sleep in.
Believe it or not, I woke up at 4:30 this morning, and I'm like, I'll take another nap. But I slept and woke up at 5. I couldn't stay up. It's something. It's part of my daily job. That's the other thing I never mentioned to anybody. But I leave home at 5:45 to get to my job at 6:30.
Oh, okay.
Most of it is because I was having. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. It's mostly a travel thing. So you do it so long for so many years, it becomes like your built-in alarm clock. I wake up ahead of my alarm every day, and I have to turn it off.
Definitely.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely. You're like, oh, I gotta get up in 20 minutes. Might as well just not wake up to an alarm.
Yeah, go do a video. No. No, actually, you know what? The idea of doing it in the morning on Saturdays, I felt it is something that, a lot of people, when we were younger, we used to wake up for other things and exciting things. And talking about tech, for me at least, is an exciting topic. Talking to you guys is really exciting for me. So I get a chance to, wake up in the morning and look forward to having a conversation with, across the country without having to, get out of my house, which is really cool.
What is Josh holding up?
It's
his picture.
He's playing around. He's a lot better at Hangouts on Air than I am, and he showed me the trick on how to add that banner on the bottom of our name.
Oh yeah.
It's under the toolbox on the left side. You can add banner, and
I did this a long time ago. I had that little banner, but I don't know. It's all flair.
No, it's cool. So Josh was telling me right before you joined us that he just picked up the Note 5 coincidentally, because now we have 3 Note 5s on the same channel. So he was just mentioning that he just got it on on Verizon, and he had actually just sold his OnePlus 2.
Verizon. Verizon.
I have to do Verizon, man. Like, it's either Verizon or AT&T.
I don't want to hear it because I remember the whole. I'm at T-Mobile. I'm at T-Mobile, and then I called Verizon and gave him my limited data back.
What, dude? Like, the coverage was so bad. It was so bad, so bad.
See, when I had Verizon for like 10 days here in Kansas City, I had AT&T and Verizon, and both of them would have very similar speeds, very similar. AT&T might get 16 down, Verizon might get 16 and a half, or Verizon would get like 17, and AT&T would have 16. But the biggest kicker was the moment you stepped into Walmart or Best Buy or any store, you were now on 3G, and AT&T was still strong with LTE. And I'm one of those guys that's like, hey, can I get this cheaper somewhere else? So I whip out my phone. I'm like, all right, oh crap, it won't. 3G's taking forever. Honey, let me see your phone. You have AT&T. Oh, look, you have LTE. And it's like, all right, now it found the price really quickly. 3G was sitting there loading forever, and I couldn't do that. To me, Verizon had worse coverage than AT&T, and my T-Mobile is way better than AT&T here. So.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, so it depends really on the coverage and where you are. Like,
exactly.
T-Mobile works better. Verizon's actually not as strong where I am. I'm actually outside of Los Angeles, the city. I'm more in the suburb area. So for me, T-Mobile works great. AT&T's decent, but I get really, like 30, 40 down on T-Mobile easy. So to each his own market, I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I was checking the coverage maps this week, and it seems that I actually have 4G LTE coverage in my area now with T-Mobile. So it's almost tempting, but at the same time, it's pretty hard to give up that Verizon unlimited data. So
No,
definitely, yeah. T-Mobile's.
I get like 50 to 60 megabits on my 4G LTE with T-Mobile, and it's unlimited. I'll sit there. I'll use 71 gigs in 1 month. I don't care.
What it comes down to, though, is it's literally coverage. Like, even though there's coverage in my area now, places that we travel, there's no coverage.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not.
My wife travels for work now, and I'm like, I don't want her stranded somewhere, like in Georgia, where there's no coverage, and she needs some help or something and can't get it.
My T-Mobile bill is like $70 every single month. Every single month. It is not even $1 more or $1 less. It's always the same bill each and every month for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, that's cool.
The only time it's ever $1 or $2 more is if I charged an app to the bill.
Yeah, no.
If it wasn't on Verizon, I'd probably be on Cricket Wireless because they got pretty good plans and they use AT&T coverage. And the AT&T coverage is pretty much just the same as Verizon in this area. It's cheaper to go Cricket than actually AT&T. So.
I was going to say, yeah, Cricket does a much better deal. They also have some deals that work over the T-Mobile network in some areas too. So it's always better. It's kind of like it's a better deal than getting the same service. You're using the same towers.
You get throttled speed, but that's about it.
I got invited to Project Fi, but I didn't go through with it because you basically give up your Google Voice account.
Yeah, you use that.
Or you could just set it if you're gonna test it out. So I got the invite too, and I chose not to have it connected to my Google Voice account. I set up a new one. I asked her to give me a new number. The only
you lose your old number.
Well, you could, and if you do that. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to test it out because for me, it was mostly a test. I really didn't want to. I wasn't going to leave T-Mobile, as you say yourself, with the unlimited data package to go to a $10 a gig plan, which made no sense to me. But I wanted to see how does a phone work, and it's switching between T-Mobile and Sprint in different areas, and you get the services. Right out the box when I got the device, or when I got the actual package with the SIM card, I realized that I had to flash my device back to stock, and I can't run CM. So. I have to. I'm cleaning it up now that I have the Note 5 as my daily driver. I'm going to clean up my Nexus 6, flash it back to stock, latest version, and then turn on the Project Fi and test it out for about a month, just to see how it works in my area. T-Mobile's stronger, so I'm probably going to be more than likely on T-Mobile. But again, $10 a gig, I just don't know why Google would think that makes sense, especially when they know that people want more data.
Yeah, that's definitely my thing too. Because I think about it. I think the service itself is $20 a month, alone,
Limited time.
and then $10 a gigs. And on an average month, if I'm at home, I can use anywhere from 4 to 6 gigs easily. So I'm trying to do the math, and I'm like 6 gigs, $10 each. That's $60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, plus the 20, so that's 80. So I would come even with what I am using now with T-Mobile on an average month. Now, if I'm traveling and I'm visiting family, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of tethering, and that's going to jump up to like 50, 60 gigs easily.
No, definitely. And so what's your average usage? I guess I'm going to have to figure out, how do I call you guys? So Josh and Josh.
You can say JD. You can say JD.
Just
Okay,
call me Bane.
so so for JD, we're actually...
That's just weird.
Sorry.
Just call him Josh.
I can't do JB and JD. That's still too close. It's like I'll be calling you guys together all day. No.
Yeah, you can say Bane. You can say Bane.
Yeah.
So
people call me Bane.
It's a way cooler name than Josh.
Wait till he puts on the mask, then we have a problem.
You should go do that someday.
Yeah,
you should do a video where you're like dressed up.
I want to get one of the voice thing, whatever.
like the guy that like does the Batman stuff with his kids. He's like, eat your food.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You're like and laugh. I know that guy. So for you, what's your average daily? I mean, on a monthly basis usage. I mean, for me, it's about 35 gigs. That's roughly where I kind of hit, unless I'm doing a lot of uploads, because like Josh will probably say, I use my phone to upload my videos to YouTube because they're a heck of a lot faster than trying to do it on my home network, which is sad. But what's your average usage? I mean, I know you have unlimited, so do you find yourself crossing the 70, the 50 gigs?
Who are you talking to?
Bane.
Sorry for you. Sorry, Bane. I gotta start it off.
I would say 35 to 40 average, and that's because, like, when you get a new phone, you're uploading all your apps again and stuff like that. So I'm changing phones every couple months, so that doesn't help with that fact. And like you're saying, my 4G LTE is so much faster than my home network, and so it's just easier to do that. I haven't really uploaded videos with my phone lately, but what I have done is turn on my Wi-Fi tethering, like my hotspot, for a few occasions, because like my work Wi-Fi is worse than my house. So when I'm at work, if something goes down, I got to use the internet to do what I got to do. So I'll throw up my hotspot and just do that. And there's been a few times where our Wi-Fi went out at home, so I just flipped that on, and watching whatever we're using the internet for, Netflix and PlayStation.
That's 90% of my guzzling thing at my home, between my wife and my son. Yeah, that just eats up 90% of it. But you're right. But unfortunately, none of us have, other than Josh, have the fiber.
We're talking about our phones being faster than the whole internet, and that was the case with Comcast a lot of times. Comcast would be completely out, like it would be so slow, so unbearable that I would use my phone to upload the video. I would set my phone on the charger, near the window, and just upload it at the speed I could. And now
you're the one who got me into that, because I saw a video of yours I was watching. He's like, I'm using my phone to upload it right now. It's faster than my network. And I said, it is actually a lot faster.
But, now that it takes me 3 minutes to upload a 7 gig video, it's like I don't use my data as much as I used to.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I saw somewhere on the website though that Google Fiber is coming to Southern California, but unfortunately only to Irvine, which means Techno Buffalo will be very happy. That's their headquarters, which is what I saw. But for me, I'm a little bit north of that, so hopefully, maybe in the future, we'll see Google Fiber.
Well, it was like literally down my street. Like I kept seeing the trucks go down my road. And it was
right here, stop in front of my house.
5 miles, like that. No, seriously, they go down the road and then they'd stop, and then that's where they were setting up fiber. And I was like, it was under construction, and so I started looking at the apartment complex that had fiber, and I moved 10 minutes away to get it. I was so ready for it, man. I was take me.
A buddy of mine that lives here in the town that I'm in, we're like, let's just move to Kansas City or some other place that has fiber, because we're tired of this crappy internet.
Yeah, $700 a month, dead even for a 3-bedroom, like $1,200 1,300 square foot. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculously actually affordable.
And then it's all electric. It's all electric, and there's no gas. So I got my internet, my apartment, and that's it. And then electric.
No, you got it set. That's you're up and running. So we already covered our daily drivers, and I think I don't know if you're still using your
Note 5.
You're still on Note, so we're all on the Note 5s right now.
I'm still hooked on the Note 5. I like it a lot.
I am wanting to get the Moto X, but I'm waiting for the color combination that I can get. Because I had it in the cart, but it had some stinking card troubles with my credit card company, and so it got blocked. And by that time, everything got sold out. So
man,
everything's back ordered for the most part. Or if I ordered it now, it'd be like here on October 2nd or something like that from the last time I checked. So I'm kind of I was like, at this point, I'm not just going to get something just to get something. I'm going to get exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And the color scheme I got going on is kind of like an Iron Man theme. So I'm just going to wait until I can get that.
I remember when the Nexus 6 came out. It was like I was spamming that refresh button, and I had my card ready. I had everything ready. I was not going to have any issues, because when that 20th anniversary PS4 came out, it kept trying to charge my old billing address, and I had to update it. And then by the time everything was changed, it was gone. It was done. You couldn't do anything about it. They were all sold out. They couldn't do it anymore. So when that 64 gig Nexus 6 came out, man, I was spamming that button.
Back and forth. I remember that. We were texting each other back and forth about that.
That was probably the most hyped I've ever been for a phone. I just all day I was spamming that button from the morning to the time it went live, and it was so funny because I saw that Tim had tweeted he bought the 32 gig version, and here I am only looking at the 64 gig Midnight Blue version. So I'm like, honey, come here. Look, he just bought the 32 gig, and I've been hitting this button all day. Add to cart. I added it to cart, and it was like 20-second process from add to cart to having an email saying my order is shipped. And then I go back to that link, and it's sold out. It
was selling out so quick. I tried. I was able to get the 32 also.
That was the most hyped I've ever been for a phone. My Nexus 6, since there's no bloatware, I think I used maybe 3 gigs of the 64. I literally do not even need that 64 gigs. I don't need it, and I got these everywhere now. They hooked me up with some newer ones that are a little bit better than the older ones, like the LED are brighter. And
I gotta pick up
better.
Of those.
And then I got a black one here too.
The black one is the one I have. Yeah, I like it better because it fits. It looks better on the keychain for me at least. The white ones probably pick up a lot of it.
I've got so many other little bitty ones from different companies that have sent me, and it's just storage is not an issue at all anymore. At all, it's not. Just the other day I was transferring a 3 gig file from my phone to my little flash drive, and it took maybe 2 minutes. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, what I like about what Google has done with Google Photos is I just have all my stuff automatically synced up whenever Wi-Fi hits, and all my photos or videos just go to the cloud now. So I don't have to have those files on my phone anymore. That's
why I like T-Mobile. I don't even have to wait for Wi-Fi. I just let it upload right from my phone wherever I'm at, and I don't have to worry about data.
Well, I'm not worried about data. I'm more worried about battery life, because these battery life phones this year have just sucked. I'm like this is the first year I've had to actually try to find some battery saving options. Usually, last year, I didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I could just let everything run wide open and still make it throughout the whole day. But this year, it's just you got to turn your location stuff down more. You got to turn your syncing stuff down more.
Nah.
Yeah, for me.
Maybe if you're going to be out in the field for a while, you're away from a charger for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, TK, Zero Lumen just released their battery case for the Nexus 6, and I've got that coming to me any day now.
They just released the Nexus 6 charger?
Battery case.
Oh, the battery
case that charges the battery.
Who is it?
Okay.
Zero Lumen.
Okay. They're late to that party. Goodness gracious.
I know, man. That phone went out.
It's like we're fixing the next.
Didn't that come out almost a year ago?
October? November. No. It was September, November of last year, which is around this time. You're right. So it's wow.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a little late. They've been slacking.
They're usually on top of it with the Note device.
Slacking.
Well,
Like,
remember with the Note 4?
if I was a company and I made products for a phone and this phone sold out and nobody could get their hands on it because everybody,
I'm making everything for that thing.
yeah. Say what?
I was like, I'm making everything I can for that.
Yeah,
phone
exactly.
I
remember people were talking about how that phone wouldn't sell, and it's like you can't even buy it now. It's like take that. No, I still like my Nexus 6 a lot. I'm running Meme Pop on it at the moment, but I'm probably going to flash back to stock just because Meme Pop hasn't updated in a little while.
Yeah, well, also if you do end up considering doing Fi, you do need to be on the latest build.
Yeah.
At least the latest version of the build.
I didn't read the whole article, but Droid Life, they had just released an article saying something about the Moto X Pure Edition on Fi.
Yes, earlier. Well, so it's the same thing, kind of thing. Yeah, I think it started off with it has to be activated already on a Nexus 6, because I think that's the requirements for the app to activate it. Once it's activated, it's able to turn on. Because the Nexus 5 was the same way. You turn it on the Nexus 6, and you turn it on, and then you can use a Nexus 5 with it. The old Nexus 5, not the new one.
That's kind of like the workaround that I had to do with getting the Nexus 6 onto Verizon. I had to take a SIM card that was already activated on my Verizon account, like the HTC One M8 is what I used.
We had to do that too with AT&T.
Yeah, so I put that SIM card into the Nexus 6, and it worked like a charm.
Yeah, otherwise you have to call in, give the IMEI number.
And they're like, nope, we're not touching that phone.
Yeah,
we're not. That's a hot phone. We want nothing to do with that. You can't have a phone in your possession that's rooted. No.
No, what's bugging me the most right now is even with T-Mobile phones and a lot of these new devices, they're putting in, and Josh and Josh and I talked about this, Bane, and they're making their system detection apps system apps. So the My Account app on T-Mobile right now is a system app, and it's the application that detects if your system is rooted when you're talking to tech support.
Yeah.
So first thing I do when I root my device is nix that app and nix the service that goes right behind it that takes the data out. That to me it's like you sold the phone, it's mine. Why do you need to be able to tab and say if it's rooted? It doesn't
exactly.
do with what you're. I'm calling you because I'm getting dropped calls, not because I'm rooted, because your service sometimes is just
They act like rooting messes up your phone. Completely uneducated.
They don't want to. They don't. I think their fear is the reality is that we have control and we can bypass their triggers, because 90% of their triggers are software based. They built it into the operating system, because obviously on the hardware side they can't really limit us. But if you change your operating system on, let's say, a Nexus 6 or even on a Note 5, and you put a custom ROM, you have control. You have ability of doing things with your device, fixing certain things, disabling sounds, installing Exposed Installer, and changing a whole bunch of different things. But either way, I think it's something you should do if you need it. If you don't, then don't. Rooting is something always that it has its benefit. I always think it's definitely a must. So we covered the fact that we're all on Nexus 5, which seems like this is a Nexus 5 club here. I returned my S6 Edge Plus, which is when I last.
You said Nexus 5. It's no 5.
Well, so I'm running I run Nova, so I make it actually seem more of a Nexus feeling. I always like to run the closer to stock look. I'm not a big fan of the way the icons show inside, but I turned on the dark theme on it, and I installed Nova Launcher Prime. And for the most part, almost looks like my Nexus 6 as far as the launcher and the interface, other than settings. So, but yes, I mix up my devices, a lot of devices.
When you say unclick your window, what do you mean?
At the bottom, the panel, if you see a window with a white border, that means that it's going to stay on that window.
A window with a white border.
It's like TK. Do you see that? What should happen is when one of us talks, it switches over to us.
It should.
It's staying on you. I don't know.
For me, it's switching back and forth.
Is it? Is it switching
It's
for you?
staying on Josh. Like I don't know. It's staying on you. But I clicked on you. So what do I do?
Unclick or click it again.
Okay, I clicked on TK.
Oh, okay. That's probably what happened. For me, I didn't have anything clicked, and it keeps switching.
Huh.
That's what he was trying to say. He wants it to switch.
Yeah. No. So.
Okay. Maybe it's just on my end. I don't know.
I know it's staying on TK right now. It's not when you talk. It's not switching to Josh. I don't.
So click again on mine. So that white border around my picture goes away.
Yeah. There's no border. It's no big deal. If it's
when Josh talks, it's stuck on TK's face.
Yeah,
Is it?
that's the way it is for me too.
For me, I don't have anything clicked. Not for me. It switches. Okay, hold on. Let me see here.
No, no one's doing anything. It's just
Yeah, it was just an option. No, no big deal.
To me, I mean, I didn't notice it. And you're saying, so you don't have it clicked on your side, and I think for me, yeah, I don't know why.
With you being the host, did you go into the control room options or anything like that?
Didn't change any of those. The only thing I did in control room was, nope. All the stuff is default. Volume is set normal. All videos.
my dirty closet.
It'll be all right.
Well,
I was curious.
As long as it records from the point of view that's coming up on my side, which is, I think that's how it records to Google. Yeah. It's switching between us. For me, is every time whoever's talking, like somebody say something.
Hey.
It switches back and back and forth to you guys. So it's hopefully it'll work out. So anyways, so that's one of the main things with ruining and getting the device. But I guess the big thing in the market, I'm not gonna try to harp too much on it, but iOS obviously just had their keynote thing done this week, and
wait. So you sat through that? You watched it?
I tried watching it. I fell out of my chair after the first 10 minutes, but that's because
you're laughing or sleeping.
If it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't have even known that it was a thing that was happening. It was like Twitter just would not stop. Like an entire row of tweets.
I know, and everybody. I mean, you could see basically it was just like, yeah, it was iOS. I mean, but luckily Google Plus didn't blow up. But anyways. There's a couple people that talked about it. Techno Buffalo covered it a little bit on it because that's what they do. But what got me was just it's a comedy show. I watch it every year, and I really anticipate the good comedy level because they put a lot of work into that. You have to give them credit for the fact that they have no concept of what people want.
I give them credit for nothing.
They don't know what they're doing. They're really just saying, "Hey, give us your money." They just should start the show with
the 6-year-old technology we invented just now. Like now that it's in our phone, we invented it. But yet, if another company does that, they sue the living crap out of them.
It's exactly what it is, and after 10 minutes, I said I can't do this. It's not doable. And then surely enough, my phone just kept blowing up with Twitter stuff. So I didn't even really have to watch it.
I know, right?
All the stuff, all the
just have tweeting and go, but oh my god.
The highlights are on Twitter, anyways.
It's yeah, it is what it is. It's an S version. It's a slight bump for what it did. It doesn't really bring in that much to the market, and it's not really worth the fact that they still have a 16 gig is beyond me. I don't know how that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
It just makes no sense.
32 gigs needs to be the standard.
It's switching now. I double-clicked the picture. Okay, I see what the white bar you're talking about. I like clicked on it again, and now it's switching. Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
that's
cool.
what it is. So one of the
I didn't understand what you were saying.
It's like a frame around our pictures at the bottom.
Yeah. I didn't.
To whoever has that frame, and otherwise it'll do the nice switching back and forth, which is cool.
For some reason, yours has a little like camera icon on the bottom left.
You hit that. Sure.
Yeah, Josh turned it on in the beginning. I added it on mine. Bane turned it on in the beginning, and I added it on mine.
Now it keeps switching. Every time Josh laughs, it switches. It's like, stay on version.
Yeah, you might want to actually click the box, Josh, if you're ADD. So it's like, I don't know.
It's too much.
It's too much. It's too early in the morning for this, guys. It's way too early.
Over there.
Oh, no, gotta go get a cup of coffee for this.
Coffee.
So as far as some of the devices and the things you guys look for, is there like a criteria you look for when you're looking for a device? I mean, and I'll start off with you, Bane, since we started talking earlier. And what are the things that you look for when you consider a device? Like when you think, you got the OnePlus 2 and you obviously went to the Note 5. Is there a specific set of things that you look for that it needs to meet before you can actually say, hey, I can get that device, or this makes sense for me to go to it?
Yeah, it's changed even in this last year because I used to work outdoors in lawn care landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of important factors that I needed for a phone, like battery life for one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had car chargers in the trucks and stuff, but like I needed battery life for that, and then also a bright screen for being outside. Like I needed to be able to see because I was a crew leader, I was on the phone at times, and so like a bright screen was always important. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about the Galaxy S6 because you get that that really big boost of brightness in the daytime. But I don't know. Like I said, it's changed now because I'm in an office desk job now as a social media coordinator for a local nonprofit organization, and so it's not as important because it's inside. I don't need the brightest screen in the world, but like the things I look for, like across the board, even back then and now, is like I really like the bigger screen. I don't like smaller screens. It can't be smaller than 5.5. 5.5 is like the cutoff for me. 5.7 is probably my favorite. That's what the Note I've always had, like the last 3 models now. The Nexus 6, I enjoyed it. It's really nice for like media consumption and stuff like that, and then like the front-facing speakers and things like that. That's really cool. But it's just changed, like because the way devices are changing. Like I've adapted to what's available. Like it used to be a bigger deal for me to have an SD card. It's not as big a deal. If it's there, I'm definitely going to use it.
Yeah.
But it's not a deal breaker for me anymore because I've learned to manage my stuff differently. So I guess just with being a Verizon subscriber too, like I'm kind of limited to my options. So with the devices that I look for, like I want the brighter screen regardless. I want the bigger screen, and I need to have some good sound out of the speakers for phone calls, but also just like watching a video, I want to have good, crisp sound. The LG G4, I don't know if you've seen my review of that review video. I don't know if I had a defective unit or not, but the thing, it was too loud that it almost sounded like the speakers were like blown. So it was not a good experience. And then also, have it on the back, it just wasn't nice, or on the front. But it's kind of like just basics. It used to be a bigger deal for me if I wanted to have an unlocked bootloader. I wanted to be able to root it and stuff. But back, I don't know, just 2 years ago, like being rooted and having all that stuff was almost like a must-have for me because you were able to make the experience so much better. But phones now, it's not as big a deal to me, and again, it's because I've adapted. Because with Verizon, you're kind of limited to what devices you can root and put a custom ROM on and all that kind of stuff. So, but like with the Note 5 and S6, the G4, a lot of those devices, even the Note 4, like they're good enough experiences to where I don't have to necessarily worry about a custom ROM anymore. Plus, like I always end up putting like a Nova Launcher on it, and I basically make it look the same across whatever phone I'm using. And then what's nice about like the S6 and the Note 5, you get the theme store, to where Sam Rosaire, the icon artist, he has the material design theme, so it looks like I got stock Android or material design on my Note 5. Plus Nova Launcher, so like the whole thing looks like it's a Nexus device.
Definitely a big fan of Sammer's icon packs and themes, and he's a really good one. I guess, Josh, would be the question to you too. I mean, you switch more phones than, well, actually, you switch a lot of phones as well. So it's obviously it's one of the things that you consider. Do you have any set criteria that you kind of look for a device, or what would consider you to get a new device, other obviously than viewers and so on? I'm talking more for your experience.
From my experience, like if I was getting a phone for me that I want to use, that it's not like, oh, this is going to get lots of views or something. Like I've definitely been sold on Nexus devices. Like on my honest, I'll tell you this, honest to God. If I wasn't making YouTube videos, I would still be very happy with the Nexus 5. I would still be very happy with the Nexus 5. It does everything I never needed to do. I actually liked form factor. Don't get me wrong, I really like big screens too. I carry a Nexus 6 and a Note 5 around, but sometimes it is nice to just pull my phone out and use it with one hand without stretching or using two hands to do something. It's nice. So the Nexus 5 is still probably one of my favorite phones of all time. And it still has the latest version 5.1. It's still a really good phone. I'm not a huge fan of overlays at all. I get so I went and I looked at the older Moto X or whatever, and I was like, this feels just like a Nexus device. Why spend $700 on a new phone when it feels and looks exactly like the previous one. Like, maybe the camera is a 8-megapixel camera. Like, all this stuff is the same as my Nexus 5. Why spend all this money? So I get that some people, like, spend money for the different experiences. Like HTC, they got their Sense stuff. I'm not a big fan of it at all. I actually can't stand the way they changed the notification drop down on HTC M9 and stuff. Samsung doesn't do it as extreme as HTC does. But I definitely, I don't know. I don't. There's not a lot of things right now that are like I will never get something like that. I'm willing to experiment with anything, and I'm not. My criteria isn't very picky. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever's new, whatever's exciting, whatever I can afford.
It's like the user experience is what I look for the most, because that's what I'm going to stick with. Like the G4, I didn't enjoy it, so I was automatically wanting to go to something else. And that's like you bring up a point, Josh, about the Moto X that's out right now. You could spend a little over $400 on it and get a pure Android experience with some complementary apps to it, with what Motorola adds to it and stuff like that. And it's like half the cost, or close to half the cost, of a Note 5. So like what I'm looking forward to doing is, once I can get the Moto X, is kind of do like a side by side. Is like, is it really necessary to get this $700-800 device versus a $400 to $500 device? I mean, if
yeah, I'm excited for the new Nexus 5. I really am. The new Nexus 5 with today's hardware, today's things in the Nexus 5. I am definitely excited for that phone. That is going to be my next phone.
Have we seen much about it? Like, I know we've seen some like pictures of leaks and stuff, but as far as what it's going to offer,
they've had a spec sheet already leaked. Almost all the hardware is pretty much known on it. It's basically well, they're not going to try to downplay it, but it sounded almost like an LG G4 with a little bit better, obviously less bloatware, better UI for sure.
Well, if it's supported by Google. If it's supported by Google and had the latest updates, I want it. I'm all about those latest updates. I am. Versus waiting for Samsung or HTC or LG or some carrier to take that update and then put all their stuff on top of it and then push that to the masses. I like it. Android in its pure raw form.
Well, just so keep in mind, if it does go the route, though, that the last year's version of the Nexus did end up going, the carriers still have a very big hand in it, because Google's actually giving them control over when they release updates. That's what's kind of getting into me, because like T-Mobile's releasing for the Nexus 6, they have their own builds. And even though I didn't buy it from T-Mobile, because I have a T-Mobile SIM in it, it recognizes the network and only updates to what T-Mobile pushes to their network providers.
Unless you download it and update it yourself.
It's where my point is, I always consider the device does it have a community support for it? Obviously, a popular device will always have community support, but is Chainfire thinking about it? That's really what I'm thinking, and what I'm talking about, John. The first thing I'm getting a device is, will Chainfire put CF Autoroute on this shit?
Yeah, because like that is the easiest way to root anything. It's fantastic. And then you get stock recovery, and it's awesome.
It's pure experience, but you're right. Yeah, so that's where I at least work with it with the Nexus 6. And I've been using BlissBuff for a while, and I'm about, like I said, I'll go back to stock recently. But I look for devices that I'm able to work with, and like you said, Bane, I like the experience. The user experience is getting a lot better these days with the way they're adding some of these customizations that we used to have to root and mod our device to get, like the themes, the ability to change icon packs. Making the launcher less bloated, work a little bit better. And the Note 5, honestly, for the even with the S6 Plus when I was using it, the device works great. It's smooth, no stutter, loads everything the way you want to load it. It's fast, it's clean, it just.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced something like that with another device, and maybe because it's a new device, but and my Nexus 6 runs at the same speed. That's the beauty of it. I keep changing my ROM. I flash ROMs every other day just to put the latest nightly build, and it runs at the same speed. So last year's hardware can still work if you want to extend the life. But the Note 5, I think where we are most right now, at least, I think it could just be the best phone for this year, honestly.
That's what I'm waiting for, the Moto X, because I think I'm a bit. Well, I didn't mention this, and I'm surprised I didn't. Is that camera is a big deal to me. It has to have a good camera. So, like with the Moto X that's coming out, that's the reason, half the reason why I didn't like the Nexus 6 is because I didn't care for the camera. And so, like with the Moto X, like it seems like Motorola took the camera serious this time, and like that's the only concern I have about the Moto X.
So I would check Twitter. A lot of people started getting the devices yesterday, and there's been some, and I'm sure you've already seen it, Josh, also on Twitter. A lot of people posting pictures, and I think was it Erica Griffin posted a battery life on it. She's not too impressed, but again, it depends on a lot of factors. A lot of people are just putting in things early enough, but you're right. The camera is supposed to be bumped up from what we had last year. Actually, that's what the other Nexus is supposed to be, right? I mean, the other Nexus is supposed to be what the Nexus 6 used to be, the Huawei one. Is it the Huawei version of the Nexus, the 6-inch version of the the LG model that's coming out? Which I'll be surprised to see 2 models in 1 year.
Yeah, that's interesting this year.
Yeah, no, the camera is always going to be a big thing. For me, the Nexus 6 did good for the camera that it has on it. I installed a few other cameras and 3 other mods on it to be able to kind of work on it, but it's hard. It's hard to go down to a smaller device. That's for me.
Yeah, once you go big, it really is hard to get down to something else.
See the camera on the.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man. It's too early in the morning. That's not.
That's what she said. Might as well do.
And that's how we lost Josh. Josh was doing great to decide that.
Between the flipping screens and then what I just said, he's just going to combust in a second.
Yeah. The reason why I said it in the beginning mostly was when I did try the G4, I had it for a while. I used it for my work phone, and even though it was a 5.5-inch display, for me it felt small by comparison to the 5.7 and the 6-inch display. And it had its benefits, but at the end, unfortunately, I did have to sell it. So yes, it's a requirement for me. It has to have support. It has to have community support. Yeah. As you said, Bane, a good camera would be definitely it's a requirement now, because that's what you have on you when you want to take pictures. Yeah. If you have kids, that's like a must. You have to have a good camera on your phone. You can't. It just won't function.
The M9, I'm perfectly fine with that camera.
Really?
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like okay, so some people might know, this color, temperature, blah 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 blah. I don't notice that kind of stuff. I just know that I take a picture and I can see what I'm looking at, and I'm happy with that. So like the M9, I'll take pictures of that thing all day long. I don't care. I like the M9, and I don't think the camera is. I haven't had a phone where the camera's so bad. I'd say the Nexus 5 is probably the worst camera I've ever had on a phone. Like as far as my memory can serve me. Recently, of course, we're not going back to the G1 days, No.
That cameras weren't really a focus of those devices, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the only camera I've not been happy with was the Nexus 5. It was okay, but everything else, like the Note 4, the G4, the M9, the Nexus 6, like all those cameras are good enough for me. I don't mind them at all. So that's not an issue when I look at a phone. As long as I can see the picture, as long as I can take a picture and see what I'm looking at, I'm good.
No, that's definitely the one thing I'm wondering actually. Does Verizon support the video calling on their Note 5?
Yeah.
Cool. So
is
now
it kind of with a question. Is it?
Yeah, I see the other, because I thought T-Mobile was the only one that first released the update to it for their devices. And to me, it was like I'm trying to find somebody else with a Note 5 to be able to do a video chat with, just to kind of check it out.
How does that work? Like, is it through Samsung service?
It's through your LTE. It's basically.
Yeah, but what app do you open?
Your dialer.
Yeah.
It's in your dialer. Yeah. So you'll have an option if a contact has. I don't know how it recognizes it, but you're able to basically make a video call through your dialer to the other person.
Huh.
If you pick up a call and call them, and if they have video option, for me at least, there's a button on top that says switch to video, and it turns the conversation over a video, and it sits on your LTE connection.
After this hangout, let's give it a shot. I've actually not done one because I don't know if anybody else has that option for the contacts that I use every day.
Yeah, no, it's a nice feature, but it's basically Skype integration into your dialer.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is probably Skype, because there is Skype on those phones, like in the system.
Is it?
Yeah, if you check the system of the Note 5, the Skype is in there.
I think
Interesting.
I'm trying to remember if I installed it because I know I have it.
I didn't install it. It just it's on there, and if you try to uninstall it, it doesn't let you. Like it
So if I go to my application manager, I should see something with Skype.
on the Note 5. Yeah. Well, I mean, on my T-Mobile one, I don't think it'd be different.
Skype. Yep, and you're right. I can't uninstall it. I can disable it, but I can't uninstall it.
And if you disabled it, I wonder if that video calling would stop working. That'd be something to try out. That'd be something to play with and see.
Yeah, it'll.
Well, the viewer.
No. So we update T-Mobile on a separate update to update the dialer itself. So if it is using it, so do you remember back in the day, T-Mobile did have like a video chat conversation. It was a separate application they used to. It was during the MyTouch devices, but if you
never had a MyTouch.
Yeah, so it's during the HTC MyTouch devices. They had this big feature of video chat, and it was a separate app. So it's something that they've been trying to use for a while, but. I'm glad to see that it's something that Samsung's putting in on their devices, so it looks like it'll cross networks and it will make it for a better adoption.
I'm not seeing any Skype stuff on my phone.
But you have the Wi-Fi calling option, so I wonder.
Yeah, for me it was an update because it didn't come with the phone.
I wonder.
Yes.
And did you update your Note 5 to the update they just pushed a couple of days ago, Josh?
Yeah, I did. I just got the update like yesterday or the day for yesterday.
Yeah, so
I clicked it and I went to sleep and then I woke up and I was like, "Thank you for updating your phone." Okay.
Yeah. So that update changed the dialer. So somewhere in your dialer, if you open it up and you go into a conversation, while you're in a conversation with somebody, you're going to see an option on the top.
Yeah, we'll have to try that out and then disable Skype and see if it still works.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a nice little feature. I don't know how it's going to pick up because most of us can't really do video calls on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, if I do any video call, I just do Hangouts anyways.
I think it works better because everybody has Hangouts. So anyways, it's their attempt to try to maybe I don't know, broadcasting, which is good on the Note 5, which is really good. I think it's exclusive right now to that device, the live broadcasting. Other than
the S6 Edge.
S6 Edge, but I think it's also Sony devices, Xperia devices have had it for some time.
I saw that article too.
Yeah, and then but at least now with this one, it's really nice. Decent camera, good quality, high speed, works great.
Yeah, I was.
My beef with the live broadcasting, the YouTube integration thing is like, correct me if I'm wrong. I actually haven't used it yet because I just got the device. But like, I want to see comments, and the only way to see comments is to look at it on another device.
Yep, Josh, this is your Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I just have this little Chromebook that I'm talking to you guys on, and I just have that next to me, and I read the comments on there, and while I'm doing it, and I was doing 1080p, and it was streaming flawlessly. I mean, yeah, I have good internet, but it's like it looked really. You watch it today, and it's like I recorded it with a decent, good camera, and it's not like a mobile crappy video. It's nice.
Yeah, it's like, my thing is like I want to be able to see comments like we would see on like Periscope.
Yeah, I agree, but
if I'm out in the field doing something or out, apart from any other thing that I don't have a data connection on another device, I have no idea what people are saying.
You're not a two-phone man? You can freaking stream with one and then load their YouTube app up and watch it on the other phone.
You'd be that guy walking in the street holding phones like this. So hold on. Okay, so you said what?
Yeah. Okay. If you want to not look ridiculous, you sold. Yeah. All right.
I think at that point we could just basically walk around the street and hold our tablets and say, "Hold on, honey, can you just smile?"
Did you watch the MKBHD video?
I know. It's like,
what are you talking about?
He was like, "Please don't take pictures with the iPad Pro."
The iPad Pro. That thing is
this big.
Oh my God! I totally see people doing it though. Yes.
You're gonna be at some conference and there's gonna be someone. It's gonna be like the guy that you had a sporting event with the big poster in front of you. Someone's taking a picture and you can't see anything in front of you because the big old iPad is taking up the whole view.
Let's talk about Marquez for a second though. Like that kid has got to be like just high on life. He really does.
Yeah.
He has a brand. I remember I was following back when on the Transformer Prime days when he had 20,000 subscribers. And now the kid's at like 3 million. Or if he's not already there, he's going to be there any day now. And it's like to have something that successful and for it to be going that fast and to have every contact there is to have with every phone company and every everything just out there, you've got to be just, oh my goodness. I'm happy with where I'm at in life. He's just got to be freaking like I just
right up there.
I'd like, yeah, well, he's floating on cloud 9, dude. He is.
But honest to God though, and I ran into him
Crazy.
The 2 years ago at a CES. Extremely down to earth, very nice kid, and honestly, he does set a standard, he does set a bar, and it's believe it or not, I think it's his personality. People just feel comfortable listening to him. And even back in the day when he used to hold his camera down and hold his phone in his hand, and he's trying to show you this little last app or last ROM that he was doing on it, it truly is. It's an art. He's really good with the camera. His cinematography is very good. I'm not gonna lie. I try to copy some of his stuff whenever I can.
I remember if I posted a review of like the Transport Prime. And then like a week or two later, he'd post a review, and I'd be like, I'm deleting mine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody to like watch his and then watch mine. Like, don't do that.
Well, that's a preference thing. Like some people like the cinematographic stuff, other people like just the raw.
No, and that's it. It's a style. His is really his effects are very good, and he gives you the data. But like you said, he doesn't need to dive into it because there are other channels that will do that. They will do the deep dive into the the settings and different things. He's giving you the top level, his personal experience of using it for a couple of weeks, and he has a lot more devices than we do. And that's even next level, right? And
his table is just like
he's like this with devices instead of mine.
Exactly. It's like, which one do I use today? I'm like,
that was perfect. That was perfect.
It's just a stack of phones. That's exactly what it is.
If there was Hangout Gold, you would get it for that. That was. Someone needs to make a GIF of that. MKBHD.
That's funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Somebody needs to make that happen. That's awesome.
We got to send this clip just Josh doing this. Let it rain. Make it rain.
Rainmaker.
So just kind of specifically in the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of announcements. So just kind of bring it back a little bit around the industry. So we've had IFA that went on for a lot of people. A lot of new devices. You got so a lot of people are starting getting the Moto X Pure Edition now. The Sony Xperia Z5 is in the premium Z5 announced, and then of course you have the iOS devices and stuff like that. Are any of the things and also covering maybe there's a couple of Android Wear devices that technically got announced. The new Motorola 360, the Huawei Watch. There's some leaks about other things, but there's the Irvine Lux version. That one anybody will never buy. It's a limited device item that costs $1,500. It makes no sense for an Android Wear device. It's just, I think LG just wants to say we have a luxury line.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing I was going to ask before I leave to it. Do you guys use Android Wear? Have you considered using wearable devices, either be it for Android or?
Like, got it.
Yeah, I got the Moto 360, not the second edition, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got an article over at the website right now that I kind of wrote up a piece about why I'm not getting the Moto 360 second edition, and it kind of applies to the rest of them. In a short summary of it, is basically at the time last year, the Moto 360 was by far probably the best option to get. Like any of the Samsung ones, except with the Live, it was like Samsung only worked with Samsung, so there was that. Like the LG G Watch, like I don't know. The thing I have to look for, considering the way I buy stuff, I have to go with what I can afford. And the way I was shopping for a watch was like, is this something that I can use for a while? It's not going to be something that I'm just going to change like I do with my phones. So I passed up the G, I passed up the R. I like the Moto 360. I like the support that it was getting and things like that. So that's what I put my money into. Plus, $250 was my cutoff. If it was any more expensive, I was just going to look into other options. So with that said, fast forward to today, I don't think there's any new watch coming out that's $250 or less, except for like the Asus Zen watch.
And even then, if you think about it, let's look at it from the sense of specs. Did they really change that much?
That's what I'm leading into as well. Is like I'm still just fine. That's my main point of that article. Like the last point was like I'm just fine with what I got still.
They're not they're not adding any new things to it. All the hardware for the most part matches the same. I mean, they may change the CPU here and there, but I find that the new 360. I mean, yeah, so it'll have a little bit bigger battery, but and then they have the female edition that's definitely not going to go well with anybody. And then of course with the new Huawei watch and other ones, you look at them, the specs are almost identical. They all do the exact same thing, and they're all capable of running the latest version of Android Wear, the Lollipop version built that we have. So unless Google cuts off and starts saying, with Marshmallow it's only going to be for the 2015 model or whatever, I don't think people are going to be compelled to really buy as much, and companies are just really, they're not bringing their A game there. They're just basically saying, here's my ticket, I'm in the game, next. That's all it is.
And for the price, like, I would say that I would kind of, actually, another thing, like the Moto 360 second gen, the flat tire is a deal breaker for me this time. Because last year I could forgive it because, it's first generation, it's pretty much like it was one of, 3 other watches that were out, and I didn't like the other ones. Mm-hmm. But now it's like there's plenty other watches that have been released that doesn't have that. You need to find a way to make it a full circle if you're going to make it a circle.
Full circle.
Bring it back.
The Android Wear. Android Wear. It's amazing. I really, really enjoy it. I don't have one at the moment because our Moto 360, we first one wouldn't connect to our phone. I would try all of the phones I had. It just wouldn't connect. So I was like, all right, let me go get a second one. I got the second one, exchanged it, got a third one. Third one did the same thing. I was done. I wasn't going to give Moto 360 another chance. I was done. The LG watch, it was still going strong, and I really did like the square screen versus the circle screen with a little, like you said, the little thing at the bottom there. That just annoyed the crap out of me. And then you'd read text, and text would get cut off because it would scroll down like on the laptop or a phone or something. It would get cut off. I did not like that at all. But I really liked mowing my lawn, and my wrist would vibrate, and I'd go, oh, it's a comment on a video. I'll check it later. Oh, my dad's calling. Swipe to answer, pull my phone out of my pocket, and answer it. That was really cool. I liked driving and going, okay, it's just this. Okay, it's just that. Or, hey, let me stop somewhere and make this phone call or something. Like, I really love Android Wear. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
I would say when I do get another one, I do want it to have its own standalone GPS. Like, if I don't have my phone connected to it, like maybe I walked to take my dog out and I left my phone inside, I want it to still have some kind of GPS or something on it. I'm a big fan of the Gear S. The putting its little, paying $5-10 extra bucks a month to have your own SIM card in it and go free completely without your phone, but have one on your wrist in case an emergency happens and you want to. Like, say you're jogging and you're running, it would be really nice to have that on your wrist versus carrying a phone in your pocket.
Very true.
Android Wear is amazing, and I wish I had one at the moment, but I don't. I haven't seen anything that's like, oh, I need to go get that right now. But I will have another Android Wear someday, and I really like it. It's awesome. You just all day long, the moment you get a notification, you see it. Versus I don't check my phone for 3 or 4 hours, and I got this message a long time ago that I missed, and I'm just now replying to you.
Exactly.
When I have it on my watch, it's like I see it instantly. Like, instantly. I don't miss it.
And Bane also put out a video not that long ago showing us also how to connect it to our other side, which is the iOS side. Now it doubled the market value of the Android Wear operating system. There really is no more limits on it. And Google has to really just put some time into it to add some new features that make it functional, and maybe add the speaker back into it. I don't know. Maybe work on better technology. I think they're worried about the quality of the sound on it. But you can make a call. You can actually initiate a call directly from the watch. It still has to go through the phone, but there are makers out there that still make devices that have built-in speakers. And I mean, I get them in the mail, and I check them out and I look at them, and they're functional. They're not bad. I'm not trying to plug anything, but I mean, I just got this one in the mail that it's not Android Wear, but it does have a speaker. It has a camera. It has a microphone. It does what it needs to do.
Yeah, I was a fan of the camera on the watch too. Because you may not necessarily use it to take photos of your family vacation or something, but it's there. It's there. If you only have that and you need to take a picture of a license plate or something, you have something there to use.
That's the thing that Samsung had at the initial Gears that I liked about the fact that it did have a camera on it, and then they decided to say, no, we'll put that at the higher end, and the new version of the ones that at least they released that they announced last week, no cameras. It's still basically just what Android Wear kind of does, and it's running Tizen, which I think they're limiting themselves. They really should go back to Android Wear.
The thing I do kind of, if I were to drop some money on a new edition watch, I actually would consider the Gear S2 because the Android Pay option looks pretty freaking awesome. Just
it works great
without having to actually bust out your phone or wallet. That's just cool to me.
I don't know if you guys have tried the Samsung Pay yet on your device.
I got accepted and I just installed it. I tried to add a card, but it kept telling me wouldn't add it or something. Like I kept
only
two different cards. And
Bank of America and U.S. Bank right now, because it's still it's technically still in beta. That's the thing. They're throwing the whole beta thing. But if you have Chase, you're gonna have to do Android Pay.
I have an old school military bank, so it's not It's something I had when I was in the Army, and I still have it.
I would load Android Pay on there and try that out, because at least now the process is there.
Yeah. Once Android Pay is going, I'm definitely going to be using it. Like, I just got on the stinking Google Wallet train.
I went to a vending machine, and, I had change, and I bought my drink with change, and it kept killing me. I was like, it had the little symbol on there. So before we left, I was like, tap.
I have to.
I posted on Instagram. I was like, what? It's Google. What?
I think I've seen those too. Just started popping up in my city.
I was like, I had to go do it. It was like I couldn't just I couldn't leave it alone. It was like $2 for a little drink. I don't care. It's the fact that I'm using my phone to do this.
I actually sent a picture to my wife.
Exactly. No. And
I sent a picture to my wife. I was like, this could be dangerous. It's like that.
It's too easy.
Drinks in the house.
We're gonna lose Josh today, I think.
No, see, my mind works in this very visual way. I'm picturing 30 people behind him, and they're all waiting for their sodas. That's why, when I
snack machine too. He's hungry.
A lot of snack machines. I've seen a lot of snack machines. Definitely, it's going to be the way to go. If you guys want to try Android Pay right now, if it doesn't yesterday on how to get it on right now with the APKs and everything, it works. It works great actually, and on the Note 5 works like a charm. But it's going to fight with your Samsung Pay, so just be aware if you install that. There's an extra setting in Samsung Pay that you have to turn on. Samsung Pay only works when the application is open, and Android Pay is your default payment. But it'll work. It's a good. It's nice. It's nice to see that we can actually use our phones now more than just for payments. Not have to carry an entire wallet with you.
I'm looking forward to today, and I've seen some posts a while ago of a driver's license and stuff like that being on a phone app kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So once that happens, I'll definitely not be carrying a wallet around. I mean, no need to. No. I think it's going to be the way of the future. Give it a few more years, and it will get a much better adoption. And the resolution on our screens are so high now that obviously we can use them as barcodes, and we can do many things with them. It's literally almost as good as actual having the card in your hand without having the extra bulk. But I don't want to get it too long. I know we can go for hours kind of covering a lot of different things and making Josh turn red as his shirt.
No more. I was about to jerk my headset out. I was like, how do I mute this thing? I haven't had to mute my Hangout yet. I was like,
no, and you chose to wear red on and you're turning as red as it's just red.
I was fixing to jerk the headset out. I freaking
call him the red man.
Coughing my lungs out. Freaking laughed so hard.
Oh man, no, it's a lot of fun hanging out and talking to you guys about a lot of different techs, and from what obviously I'm getting that you guys obviously do talk, and you've had other conversations before, you've known each other for a while, because I picked up on it when I mentioned Josh, Josh's name last time when I was talking, when I mentioned Bane's name when I was talking to Josh last time. I got to get you guys straight. It's like,
Just call me Bane from now
You
on.
just say Bane.
yeah, just basically, it's cool to have you guys on, and I appreciate you guys coming on. What do you guys, maybe just like as a last thought, what you guys want to maybe, what do you see yourself maybe in the next year or so? Do you see, expanding, trying to do other things, or do you guys consider doing maybe collaborations and try to help, expand your channels?
I haven't done a collaboration. I wouldn't even know where to begin or how that would work. I would guess you would like have a video idea and then you would record it and send it to somebody and then they would do like I don't really know. I haven't really messed with it too much. So I'm not totally against it.
I guess something like what you've done with the giveaways.
Oh yeah, true.
That's kind of like a collaboration right there. So
I think that's like the most popular one recently in the field of channels. What they'll do is they'll do a combined like a multi-channel giveaway, and it helps viewership and expand and just gives exposure to the other areas. And of course, those are certain things. But the idea I think that Josh was also bringing on, which was the original version of what collaborations used to be, which was two channels doing something together. And working on the same project, and that takes a lot of coordination. That's especially with new devices, you could do something like that, like do a shared review. Your experience versus the other person's experience, and maybe do a Q&A at the end of it. It'll be a challenge to keep it under around 10 minutes or under 10 minutes per review. It's
with hardware stuff, I don't think, like especially device reviews, there's no way to keep under 10 minutes.
Unless you just want to nick stuff out completely and not
no. It ends up being, I think it was just the idea I saw, because I saw sometime like a while back, I saw where Kevin did a review video that talked about other people's reviews, but he only did one of them. I don't think that ever kind of picked up. But there were some people that try different things. Like he actually talked about like 3 or 4 other tech reviewers, and he summed up what their aired public reviews are on his channel. So I think what I'm trying to say is there's always going to be a creative way to figure out things to collaborate, to work with other people. Giveaways are also great. If you guys ever consider doing it, like trying to do a channel giveaway, stuff like this is something that we can also definitely look into, because I definitely get a lot of accessories and things like that to review that end up basically just sitting on my shelf. And I wouldn't mind.
Well, half the reason why I've done a couple of giveaways the last couple of months, and it's just literally so I can get rid of stuff.
And I think it's not a bad idea to trade those in for some viewers, and I'm sure both you, Josh, and Bane, and would definitely appreciate those. So again, I want to say thank you very much for.
I said Josh and Bane because that's actually my whole name. Sorry.
It's like the Nexus player in the Fire TV. Who wants it? My Shield TV is my new favorite media device. When I want to watch something using Kodi or something, it handles everything flawlessly. My Nexus player hasn't been plugged in months. I mean months. My Fire TV hasn't been used since I got the Shield TV. And that was my go-to device for like plugging a flash drive and loading up a movie that I downloaded.
No, I put Kodi on my Fire TV. I have it connected to the same computer monitor here, so that's the only reason why I still use it. The
Shield player is way more convenient. It's got 2 USB ports, the micro SD card slot. I can I'll launch ES File Explorer in it, and Kodi's in the Play Store now. It's awesome. Kodi is in the Google Play Store, so it's like you just update it right then and there without downloading it from your computer or something.
You don't have to sideload it anymore. Yep.
Yeah, I love my Shield TV, and it's like the Nexus player. It's like I don't care. It's just it's there. It's collecting dust. I haven't plugged it in. I'd have to find the freaking connector for it. The power cord.
So let's do that. I'll send you guys an email later on, and then maybe we'll coordinate something. Especially with the holidays coming up pretty soon, it's not a bad idea to start putting out some things for people, and we can cover. We'll work out the details. I think it just if you guys are up for it, we'll work it out. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got a controller for both of them and everything. For the Fire TV and the Shield. I can't remember. I think I told you the day I got it, and other than that, I just haven't touched the remote for it. The little game controller.
No. I know. It's for me. It's mostly just I loaded Kodi on it. That's the only reason why I'm even still using it. If I didn't have that on, it would be just.
No, the Fire TV was a great device for Kodi, especially if you were able to root it before the update that blocked root.
Yep.
And like I have the latest bootloader on it. I have the latest custom bootloader. I have the latest custom ROM on it. I don't use it anymore. The Shield TV has completely replaced it for me.
It's a very good one, and actually it's also on the Play Store too now. You can pick up the Shield tablet, the Fire TV, not the Fire TV, the NVIDIA TV right there. I saw it yesterday when I was looking at some of the Android Wear ones. So it's easily to pick up and it's updatable. It's very, very good. I saw it at CES and I was impressed. Especially the processor on it. The K1 processor is just out of this world. It just kills everything else. But I'm just go ahead and bring it in, I guess, to a close. I want to say thank you again for joining and waking up early with me and having a little bit of a tech conversation. Like I said, to me, it's exciting to see you guys and just to talk because these are conversations I cannot have with with either you.
This is gonna be the next video. It's gonna be an inside joke. If you see this, you're gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
You know what? I'm gonna thumbnail that. I'm gonna capture that at the end of the rerun, and I was just like, "Come join us."
My profile picture.
Come join us, and then and check out what happened with Joshua Bane on that.
Here, I'll do this for you. That way it's frozen. It'll be a good thumbnail for you. No blur involved at all.
No, right there, I got it. Yeah, no, I'll freeze frame. I'm gonna download it as soon as it's done processing, and I'll freeze frame that one. And I promise you, it will be. It will be the cover. That's a thumbnail right there.
Put it on Reddit. Get it up there.
That's funny.
All right, so, yeah. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoy you guys. Thanks for putting up with me. I ramble a lot.
No, you know what? But that's the fun part. It is. It's a try to be unstructured. It's just open conversation with a few topics to talk about, and again, just a nice conversation and hanging out with the guys Saturday morning. With coffee, which apparently Bane has.
Yeah.
You didn't send the cup of coffee in advance, so maybe next time we'll work it out.
It's in your coffee maker right now.
It is. I gotta go get it.
Waking up with Folgers in your cup.
We're gonna have to pay royalties at the end of this.
I know, right?
MKBHD is gonna be calling us to say, "Hey, you mentioned my name like 7,000 times. That's like $10 a time, right?" So,
as if you don't get ideas from other people too. Come on.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I wouldn't mind at some point or another seeing if we can even get him to join. And if he does, I promise I will get you guys to. I'll ask you guys to join again if I'm able to get him to join the channel. But as a little teaser, I'm working with Jordan Keys for the next video or so to try to get him online too. So
nice.
I'll keep you guys posted if you guys want to join. Maybe make it into a panel and have a nice chat.
Sounds good.
Cool. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to post this obviously on my channel, and we'll also cross-post it on the other guys and make sure that you guys can get a chance to view the chat. It's a nice conversation. It's candid. It's honest. It's us, unscripted. So thank you for joining Saturday morning with the Side of Tech. Thank you, Joshua Bane, and thank you, Josh from What Would Josh Do. I think that's the easy way to say it, but it's a long title. Josh from What Would Josh Do.
I know. What would Josh do? Like it is a little bit longer. But it's
no, it's cool. I know the origins of the name, which is really cool because I like Mountain Dew too. But it's
that was a long time ago, man. Oh my gosh, I would consume that stuff like it was nothing.
I know. And hopefully join us in the next episode, and we'll hopefully see you guys again. And thank you, Joshua Bane, for showing me how to add a banner under my name. That was.
Yeah, man.
That was a highlight. That was a highlight of the start.
Wait, Josh! I just realized you didn't have like your YHZOM something like your full URL.
I was able to. I don't know. It's been about a year or so now, I guess.
Just set it as a custom URL.
Yeah, they were able to detach it. So.
Yeah, but it's still hidden in there somewhere. You can get it to show up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's still the base URL, but I'm able to use this, and I so much like this better.
It is a lot better.
Quick tip before we get off: if you are going to start a channel, plan it out before you just start.
I know, right?
Videos. Like, because that's what ended up happening with me.
That was all I ever planned on doing.
I'm just going to upload some videos, and then it turned into something serious, and then it was just too far into it to change it.
Well, definitely a big fan of you, both you guys, both your videos and your hangouts, of course, with the Bane Tech crew. Of course, you guys are a much bigger group of people, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the Android barbecue in next month, I think. And I'm not sure if you, Josh, are coming down to our barbecue. It's definitely a great event if you ever have.
I want to. I eventually will, but not right now. Where's that being held at? What state?
Hermes, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. That's you know how it is. You have to go big, or it's Texas. You gotta go Texas. Texas barbecue, done. that's
all
right. Yeah. All right. Let's call it here. I'm gonna try out this video calling thing.
Cool. Well, you guys have a good rest of the weekend. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and as soon as the video is done processing, we'll work out the mechanics of the other stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Josh, I'm gonna try that video call with you, Josh, after this is over.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes. Cool.
All right.
Well, we could stay on the chat just to end the broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Let me just go ahead and where is it? Okay. Actually, it's only giving me the option to say leave because I actually joined it afterwards. So you may actually have to end it. And
we'll make a new one. We'll just make a new one. All right.
Yeah. Cool. I'll see you.
I want to do it from my phone though. That's the thing. I want to try the Wi-Fi calling from my phone.
I think that's the better way. It's that's the only real good way to get it to enjoy it. So, okay, I'll go ahead and end it here.